Mr. President, the sweeping surveillance powers authorized under Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, known as FISA, expire in just 40 days. Section 702 grew out of a secret, warrantless surveillance program conducted by the Bush administration after 9/11. When this illegal spying program was finally discovered, Congress enacted 702 as a temporary measure. Like so many expansive government powers that are adopted during times of emergency, this authority has now become a fixture of our surveillance architecture. When it comes to collecting intelligence on foreigners located abroad, the value of this tool is not in serious dispute. But there's a fatal flaw at the core of Section 702. This authority is also used for warrantless spying on innocent Americans. Americans' private email, phone calls, and text messages with friends, family, colleagues, business, and any number of other contacts around the world excuse me, are swept up under Section 702. The government then searches these private communications, protected by the Fourth Amendment, I might add, without a warrant or other court order. Congress has repeatedly failed to fix this in-run around the Constitution. As a result, for years, the intelligence community has abused Section 702 to spy on business and religious leaders, political parties, campaign donors, journalists, and protesters across the political spectrum. In passing the Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act in April 2024, Congress codified new reforms intended to rein in these abuses. These measures have substantially reduced the number of unlawful searches. But Congress failed to require a warrant for searching American communications, once again leaving the fox guarding the henhouse. At the same time, Congress greatly expanded 702 to include counter-narcotics and immigration vetting, and conscripted a shocking array of American businesses into Section 702 spying. Congress has a responsibility to protect our national security and the privacy and civil liberties of Americans. That's why Senator Lee, Republican of Utah, and I have introduced the SAFE Act, a bipartisan bill that would reauthorize 702 with common sense reforms to protect our privacy as individuals. Our bill preserves the core value of 702 as a foreign intelligence collection tool, while preventing the government from using it to target the constitutionally protected communications of Americans unless they get court approval. Our warrant requirement takes legitimate operational and security needs into account so that it won't be unduly burdensome or impede any action in an emergency. There's an exception for emergency. What it would do is stop the government from accessing the private communications of Americans without a proper basis under the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. Such a simple requirement to comply with the Constitution should have been included in Section 702 from the outset. The SAFE Act would also prevent government agencies like ICE, Customs and Border Patrol, and the FBI and others from skirting the Fourth Amendment to obtain America's sensitive information and other personal details from data brokers. ICE is using this data to track U.S. citizens exercising their First Amendment right to protest, which should concern senators on both sides of the aisle. If the FBI wants to track someone's phone, obtain their location information, or access their Google search history, the agency should be required to get a judicial warrant. Instead, government agencies are exploiting gaps in our outdated laws to buy our sensitive information from data brokers. It's a loophole Congress must address. Our bill, my bill with Senator Lee, does that. Once again, however, those who want to avoid real reforms are urging Congress to just reauthorize Section 702 without addressing this issue. When Congress extended 702 in 2024, the argument was we needed more time. So Congress reauthorized Section 702 for just 2 years to see how the existing compliance measures were working. Later they said we need more time. Let's see how the reforms are working. And now here we are, 2 years later, and the opponents of real reform are saying exactly the same thing. Just give us more time. We've been hearing these same excuses for over 20 years. It's time to stop avoiding the issue and to protect America's constitutional rights once and for all. Not later, not next time. In 2024, the last time Section 02 was up for reauthorization, I chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee, which had jurisdiction over FISA. I held a public hearing more than 6 months before the authority expired, so members could ask the Biden administration how they were using Section 702. Now the Trump administration refuses to testify publicly about how they're using this power. Enough is enough. There's no excuse for ramming through an extension of 702 at the last minute without regular order and without common sense and in violation of the Constitution. The American people deserve better from their representatives. We can and we should protect the American people from threats to their security and threats to their civil liberties. I yield the floor.